Hey, true believers, Englentine here, and yes, I have been contributing to this whole negativity surrounding Stan Lee, and that's basically only because I've been reporting and telling you about all of the negative stuff surrounding Stan Lee, and usually these things come with pictures of him looking 95, and we go, oh no, he's not looking good, he's looking 95, guys. I mean, unfortunately, he started this year fighting pneumonia, so it hasn't exactly been easy even without all of the extra stuff. Well, he got a visit from Todd McFarlane. Todd McFarlane, of course, respects him the same way everybody in the industry should and does. Actually, they did a movie together, an interview, comic book greats in 1990, I think, 90, 91. Anyway, they also worked on a comic book together called The Blood Red Dragon. And, so there's mutual respect going on. Anyway, Todd McFarlane paid a visit and then decided to share his thoughts on Facebook. And I will leave the link in the description below to the original. And he writes, Stan Lee, I wonder how he's doing. It's a question I think many of us in the comic book industry have been asking ourselves recently. With a handful of news articles swirling on the internet about Stan, it has led to lots of questions. Through it all, I really have focused on just one crucial question. How is Stan doing? With that in mind, I want to post about my recent visit to my dear friend Stan at his house last week, March 29th. To be clear, what I am writing is strictly about the 1 hour visit I had with him. What Stan does with all the rest of his personal time was not something we talked about during my visit. And when I entered the room where Stan was seated, he welcomed me and asked that I sit next to him since his hearing is far from perfect these days. And how did Stan look, you may ask? Like a 95-year-old man. I think we tend to forget that fact at times. Since he's become so iconic and seemingly timeless, he's a man who has been around for nearly a century. And he's right. I mean, we all know it, but we all do not want to admit the fact that we're on a Stan Lee death watch. That's cryptic to say, but he's 95 years old, gang. And if he makes it to 2019, it will be somewhat of a miracle. So, for the next 60 minutes, he continues, we talked about things like his growing up in New York, his love of Marvel Comics, his even bigger love of his late wife, Joni, and how he was doing health-wise. He told me that getting old kind of sucked, but said, what are you going to do? His stories told me how obvious it was that he missed his wife and how every day a pair of ducks come swooping down from the sky to land in his pool and then come up to the glass window begging for food, which his wife would oblige every time. We talked baseball, movies, and he asked what it was like for me to live next to a giant natural desert preserve in Arizona. Basically, it was everyday normal banter mixed with a few fun stories. But soon it was getting late and I had to get going. As I got up to leave, Stan grabbed my hand and said, Todd, thanks for coming by. Your visit is much better than any medicine I could have taken. So what did I observe on my visit for that one specific hour? I saw a 95-year-old friend. And for me, at least, that was comforting. And he signed it, of course, Todd. And I wanted to share that because it seems like around Stan Lee we're seeing a lot of frustration and not a lot of caring. And I thought this post really did nail it. It just, even though his experience was personal, I think the underlying concern is kind of universal as far as fans of Stan Lee are considered. And that's why I thought it was important, because just once we need to hear something positive. We need to hear something good. Not somebody, hey, look, I got this signed by him. Definitely not his freaking former bodyguard is stealing blood from him, allegedly. We just need to hear something nice, and I think that's what this did. And I applaud Todd McFarlane for posting it. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Share your good feelings, good thoughts for Stan Lee in the comment section below. And what do you think about Todd McFarlane posting what he did on his Facebook? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like videos like this, click like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Cool things happen around these parts. Like Comic Book Thunderdome every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, where we put a couple of geeks against each other to debate and fight out all those arguments, debates, and fights you might have in the comic book forums and in the comic book shops. Also, this is a way to make a living, so if you don't mind heading over to Patreon, drop $1 in the till. We're trying to get better equipment and better programs so we can make better videos for you. Also, for as little as $1, you join the Great Graphic Novel Giveaway, where we just pull a name out of the hat, and whoever wins, we send a graphic novel or trade paperback on their way. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.